Hello and welcome to another Bedroom Guru with Nicky Alan. How are you all doing? Um, Today we're going to speak about spiritualist churches and spiritualist centres. Reason being is I've had, again, a few emails with the same theme, so that's what I generally normally go with. There's been about 4 or 5 where people have said about what to do next, or they're really missing people from the spirit world, or they've got psychic ability, and it goes hand in hand also with the videos I did about, how can I tell if I'm psychic? The easiest and best thing to do, apart from your own self-development, as I've already discussed, by using angel cards, meditation, doing your own exercises, is to find yourself a local spiritualist centre. Now, there's 2 types of centres you can go to. They are everywhere. As I always do, I refer to my friend's website, spiritguides.co.uk. You can type in your area and it will show you what's up and around travelling distance that you can go and visit. From workshops to seminars to centres and churches. As I say, there's 2 types, and it really depends on, what floats your boat, to be honest with you. There's the SNU churches. Now, they are very church-based. They have principles, they have lots of prayer, they have lots of hymns. So if you're someone that is quite suited to like a religious aspect or a more controlled aspect to your development, or to, wanting to go into a place like that, then that's a place to go. The other one is Spiritualist Centre, which is set up, normally rented in halls, and is a lot more of a different ball of what? I can't even think properly. A different bag of, I don't know, I can't think of the analogy. It must be a brain fog moment. Anyway, so we'll talk about the 2 and then take you through it and see what you want to do. I had a most beautiful email from this lady who's so young and so beautiful, and she lost her husband. She's got a very young child, and it just really broke my heart to read her story, how she's struggling. And I'm not saying go to a spiritualist place just to try and replace your grieving. You have to obviously naturally grieve, because lots of people do go to the centres just to get messages all the time. It's not about getting the messages in there when a medium's working. It's about sitting in the ambience of it. Most spiritualist centres have healing before and after services. So, you can go in there, get healing, meet like-minded people. Lots of people walk through our doors that are lost and don't know what to do, and they've tried their own religion, or they've tried to get through grieving, or they're trying to find out, how to develop their psychic or mediumship ability. So people come in for all different sorts of reasons. Some just come in to see what it's like, because they think we're all like standing around an altar sacrificing a chicken. It's not like that at all. So let me take you through it. SNU churches, as I say, they normally have services. You have evening services where, I'll give you kind of like the staple. They all change, obviously. They're all different. But this is kind of the staple one for a spiritualist church, okay? Or a Christian spiritualist church. You basically go in. Healing's normally available, as I say. It's normally donation that you give. Please give a nice little donation, even if you're just going in to see a medium, because these places basically work on what you put back into them. I remember going to a place and doing a service once. I think it was Bethnal Green or somewhere around there, and it was like just full of 2p's. These people are outside having a fag. They can afford 10 or 11 quid or whatever it is nowadays to buy cigarettes, and yet they're like putting 2p in there. It's not quite keeping the roof going over their head, is it? All the people that want to attend. So, take a couple of quid just to give a nice little donation. So basically, yeah, you walk in and you give a donation. You don't have to if you don't want to, but it's nice to put a couple of quid in. After the healing, you'll then have someone that sits there. It's called the chair, and they basically preside over the meeting. So you'll have the audience sitting there, and they'll be up either on a rostrum or a stage, or might not even be on a stage. But most churches have obviously got a dedicated rostrum. They'll introduce the medium that's going to be doing the service. They will then ask you to obviously join in prayer. Then there'll be hymns sung. You'll then get what's called an address from the medium, which is insightful or mindful speaking, perhaps about experiences or philosophy of spiritualism. and some of them can be very, very inspiring. Some are a bit boring, I'm not going to lie. Some of them can be very inspiring. And then after another hymn, you then get perhaps 30-40 minutes of the medium giving messages to the audience. They can either be based on psychic, so they'll just give you a message about you yourself, or they will actually channel a spirit person through them to talk to you. I can't tell you about the quality of the mediums. I've gone into some places and just thought, what the hell are they doing up there? I'm not, I'm going to be honest with you, and I just think, God almighty, that was just absolutely dire. And other times I sit there completely gobsmacked thinking, my God, why have I never heard of this person before, So it's up to you whether you think they're worthy or not, put it that way. Afterwards, there's normally a cup of tea, and cake or whatever, biscuits, and giving you a chance to mingle and speak with other people. And perhaps you can speak to the medium as well if they're about, and there's normally healing afterwards as well. Churches also supply information for bereavement. They provide information for support groups. They also have circles, open and closed circles. Closed are obviously dedicated and only by invitation. Open you can attend, whenever you want. Specifically, the open circles really should be dedicated, but that's another story for another time if I talk about circles. And also they will have what's called a divine service, and that's normally a Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, and that's when they normally get a higher profile medium come in, and basically it is again like a church service but with a medium bringing messages. They also do specials, so again high profile mediums will come in, and this is when they do specials, you actually have to pay to get in and buy a ticket. Normally you're looking from a range between 10 and I would say about 18-20 quid depending on the profile of the medium. If you're getting the top medium that's out there and at the top of their industry, then you could be looking at quite a pricey ticket, but don't pay over the odds. At the end of the day, there's a limit to how much we should be charging for you to come and see us. So basically, as I say, it's a more orientated religious approach to spiritualism. So if that is your cup of tea, then that is a place to go. Please don't worry about going in on your own. You'll be so welcomed. There's so many beautiful people there. They know that people are scared and lost and need a bit of guidance. And so go in and have a look, Again, being very honest, some places you walk into and it's like walking into a funeral and the energy's like, oh my God. Other places you just receive nothing but joy. You feel the energy of the place, you tingle, you might feel emotional, you might feel like you want to cry because it's so full of love. And as I say, like-minded spiritual people. Again, it's for you to experience, and don't be disheartened if you go in and think, oh my God, I don't like this place. Just pick the next one. That's what they're there for. It's a service for you. And, like anything, there's, horses for courses. So pick what one you like, stay there or move on, because there's plenty out there. To be honest with you, if you're more rural, it's harder to get to them, because obviously there's less of them. But if you're living in places like Essex, London, Surrey, you're laughing because they're just everywhere. So just have a look. Have a look at that website for a start, or just put Spiritualist Church near me and it should pop up. With the Spiritualist Centres, they're a lot more relaxed. It's a lot more love and light and spiritual, as opposed to hymns and principles and things like that. You'll generally find, as I say, most spiritualist centres rent a hall or something like that, so you're not actually going into a physical church. Again, there's healing at the beginning. There'll be all types of healing as well. There'll be Reiki healers, spiritual healers, all different sorts. Some of them also have stalls there as well, where you can buy spiritual stuff like crystals and handmade stuff, and cards, tarot cards, angel cards, that kind of thing. Some of them have that as well. They'll have a raffle as well, where you can mostly win some of the things that are on the stalls, or perhaps reading with somebody. Some of them actually do have people doing readings before as well, so you can get a private reading with someone before the actual main event starts. All I would say to you is, if you're walking in, just look at who you are if you're going in for a reading, look at who you just feel totally attracted to. Don't judge them. Just think, I've got to go and see that person, and that will normally be the right person for you. Again, the quality wavers all of the time. You know, you get some really excellent readers, and others perhaps needed a bit more time before they started doing readings. But, you know, again, it's down to your experience and where you go. They're a lot more light-hearted. There's normally like a tea bar, so you can have tea, coffee, and there's lots of cake normally there and all. And you can like chill out, have a lump of chocolate before the main medium comes on. When obviously I've served over 80 spiritualist centres and churches, and I'll be honest, I'm not a hymn type person. And also the reason I like spiritualist centres is because you get longer as a medium. I was very lucky though, because I got into doing specials very early on because I was quite advanced. And as I say, specials are normally in evenings. It's about an hour and a half, 2 hours demonstration with the medium. So anyway, you go in, sit yourself down. Sometimes people play music just to get you in the mood. So, you know, it could be anything, pop music, anything that's an, you know, uplifting song. You'll then get the medium stand up. Obviously it's chaired as well, and the chair will ask the medium to stand up. They might ask you to do a prayer, they might not, depends what sort of medium they are. They'll also give you a quick address. It's a lot more light-hearted, I think. There's a lot of jokes going there from certain mediums, definitely. And then, you know, some of them will either do a full hour or hour and a half of the medium and then it's ended, or some you'll have like a break halfway through. So that's where you basically get your messages from the medium. At the end, perhaps some of them, again, it's all different. Some of them may still have the stalls open. You get healing afterwards as well. Some don't. So again, you know, you find the one that suits you and what you've really enjoyed. They also have details for support groups. They'll mostly have bereavement counsellors there, or they can refer you. Again, they have workshops all of the time. They have circles running. They even have trips going out to places. So you could really find yourself settled in a place like that. If it's your first time in and you're going to see a medium, from my point of view, you know, you need to just relax. Don't wish that your mum come through if you've just lost your mum. Just relax, open your mind and go with the flow of the whole evening. Because I can always spot the new people, because they're either like this, or they sit there and they think, don't talk to me, don't talk to me. And I talk to them and they like freeze up and they don't want to talk to you. It's a nightmare. So just relax, go with it, you know. And again, you'll meet some really beautiful people. And a lot of them will have been in your situation where for some reason they've been drawn to a spiritual centre, for whatever reason it may be. You know, or take your mate, have a night out. It's a really good night out, actually, especially if you get a message as well. But don't look at it like bingo, you know. Don't go in there and think, oh, I didn't get a message, or yeah, I did get a message. Just feel the essence of where you're at, because you've got a healing energy in there. You've got, you know, the channeling energy of the medium, and it's a really good place to be, just to charge your batteries up, you know, and just to feel like you belong somewhere and that someone can help you if you're going through real difficulties. And obviously, you know, if you're someone that knows that you've got psychic ability and you don't know where to go next, oh my God, walk through those doors, because you've got everything there in the palm of your hand. You can take any type of workshop that interests you. So if you're like, you're really affiliated to angels, have a go at an angel workshop. Or do you know what, like I did, try everything and see what really floats your boat. You know, go to perhaps a tarot class, go to crystal class, go to a healing class. You might even end up in a healing circle and developing as a healer. So just become a psychic sponge, absorb it all and see what really, you know, makes you feel buzzy. That's the easiest way of saying it. Whatever gives you that buzz, you know, go for it. However, what I will say to you, as I said earlier, don't use this as a platform to try and contact your loved one. If you're grieving, you know, if you're grieving, you really need to be just going there to be in the energy and get healing, because it won't happen. If your loved ones know that you're grieving, you're not healthily doing it, they're going to step back and wait until you're ready to receive them. And it's not a nasty thing, but I've had so many people that have followed me just to try and keep their loved one alive, just want me for a message time and time again. You know, and they get so disappointed when they don't get the reading, or they don't get the person they want to hear from. So it's somewhere to embrace the love and light of this whole process of spiritualism, as opposed to you going there trying to keep someone alive or going in there for just one reason only. You just need to relax and go with the flow, because, you know, people say, oh, I need a reading. But you know what? If you just develop your own self and even take on a couple of the tips that I've given you in the other videos, you will start feeling and seeing so much more than you ever believed. It's there. It is right there. It is like literally 2 foot away from you, 2 millimeters away from you. Spiritual essence and life and the angel realms are there for the taking. You've just got to say, right, show me, and you're up and away. It is that simple. It is that simple. So yeah, I used to love doing them. Obviously now with this condition, I'm quite limited to how many evenings I can do. But I used to do 3 or 4 evenings a week. I absolutely used to love it. And the joy of bringing spirit people to their loved ones and giving evidence that there is afterlife. Oh my goodness, there's nothing beats that. You know, the jaws open up. Oh my God, how did you know that? It's just great. It really is. So give it a go, okay? Again, most spiritualist centres will be donation for healing. But as I say, because they have like evenings of mediumship and they have regular meetings, obviously on the Sunday and perhaps Thursday nights or whatever, they have their regular meeting times. But some of them will charge like £4 or £5 to get in, and then that's it, you're in. And again, for specials, you'll be paying a ticket price for that medium, £10, £15. Also, talking of money, I hate talking about money, but if you're going to a place where circles are like £10 a go, it's a bit steep, to be honest with you. So if you think it's a bit pricey, then just move on to another place. Unfortunately, there are some that are quite money orientated, and it's just the same as anywhere, you know. You get good and not so great. So just make your own decision on whether you think it's too expensive or whether it's worth every penny. To me, paying £4 to get in, oh my goodness, it's worth every penny to sit there and get the healing and to have a browse around the stalls. And watch a medium, you know. It's just, I just love it. And you don't have to be a spiritualist. To be honest with you, every religion I've seen walk through those doors, absolutely every religion, creed, colour, race, have gone in and walked in through those doors. Whatever needs, you know, they require, they've gone in. Some of them have like, don't say I've been here. But, you know, it's a very easy place. There's no doctrines, there's no rules chucked down your throat, there's no wrath of sin and all that kind of old rubbish. Sorry, I'm calling it rubbish, but you know, I've spent over 27 years doing readings for people, and as I say, a lot of them come from very strict orthodox religions, and literally I've spoken to all of them, and they say, I'm worried that I'm going to go to hell for having a reading with you. And you're like, oh my God. Religion is basically a man-made phenomena which is really used to, I don't know, perhaps control people. I have to be careful because I don't want to sound like I'm like, you know, anti-religion, but there's so many people mucked up and in fear of the devil and in fear of their actions. And yet with spiritualism, yes, there are consequences to your actions which you learn very quickly. There's also an understanding that when you get up there, no matter what religion you are, your loved ones are still there. It doesn't matter if you're Jewish, Catholic, your loved ones are still there and they will still want to contact you. So as I say, I don't want to get too anti-religion, but what I will say is that if you do have a strict you know, orthodox religion and you want to reach out, just do it. Don't have to tell anybody, do you? Come in and see us, and you'll find a lot of comfort there. You'll find a lot of answers, and perhaps you'll feel like you finally belong there. So many people walk in there and suddenly they breathe a sigh of relief and think, my God, I'm home. And then they develop into the most wonderful mediums. Some of them just go for a night out. You know, you'll go there for whatever reason you wish. But I would always encourage people to go in there and see what it's all about. I've had so many emails from people saying, oh yeah, but what's it like? Is it spooky? Have you got to do anything? It's like, oh my God, no, because they obviously think we're all a bit weirdy.